It's going. It's rolling. Stop it. All right. Ready? There's something here. There's something in the house. What was that? Where'd it go? That's pretty much the movie. Hope you enjoyed it.
5, 4, 3, 2. Looking Glass Reviews.
I hope you guys enjoy the new quality here. Switch our cameras up so he's embarrassed about his review podcasts that we do. He's embarrassed of you guys. You should tell him off in the comments.
What?
Alright. So today we're going to be reviewing
I don't want to do this.
The Woman in Black. He doesn't want to do this, but we're going to do it.
Don't see this movie. Nazi woman.
Nazi Woman. The unofficial title that didn't get picked. Daniel Radcliffe plays the main character. You all know him as Harry Potter.
Not all of us.
I didn't recognize him without his scar. It's your typical horror movie haunted house plot.
Something strange.
He's trying to make a name for himself in this business, and to prove himself, he gets a crappy job doing all this paperwork nobody wants to do, and this old creepy house that nobody will go near.
Oh yeah. And did we mention that the townspeople are also somewhat crazy?
The townspeople are retarded, and instead of telling him, hey, people are gonna die if you don't go in that house,
They just
kind of,
maybe you should go home.
maybe we should shun the person who's going to that house and let our children die instead of warning him. Someone should have told him, hey, did you try telling this guy? I don't know, instead of giving him weird looks.
I'm gonna go kill the guy right now.
And the rest of the film is pretty much him wandering around the house. He's trying really hard to do this review, and I'm sorry.
They're out there listening to us.
Who cares?
Anyway.
Just ignore Justin. He has voices in his head today. He's still in the denial stage.
They can hear us. Just give me like a minute.
Justin couldn't bear the movie. Ladies and gentlemen, he has left. It's like the third time he's left. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. So, it stars Daniel Radcliffe. He is trying to make a name for himself.
Do you call this movie a film? Because
I'm not talking about the film. I'm talking about the plot line of the story. Yes, he's trying to get a name for himself other than Harry Potter. I guess I just want to say...
Alright, can we just start over?
I'm just going to say this movie's kind of boring.
It starts off pretty slow, and then, like most people, you hope that it picks up, and it really just doesn't pick up at all. It kind of stays slow. The things that they do accomplish in this movie aren't enough to keep most people interested, and it's kind of a bore fest.
Kind of disappointed. I didn't watch the previews for this movie. I just heard people say it looked good, and so I jumped on it. But the acting was not a problem in the film. Although it requires little acting, there's not many lines even. Most of it is just Daniel Radcliffe's character wandering around the house in silence.
It's true. Not
very much happens. It's just kind of boring, and when something does happen, it's kind of cool. I mean, it's...
If you're a little girl,
it's effective. The visuals look kind of creepy, but it doesn't last long, and then you're just waiting for something to happen again. The climax of the film, there isn't really one. Like, you're waiting for that giant build-up where everything's just gonna go crazy, and it never happens. I will say that for a couple seconds at the end of the film, like the last couple minutes, something happens where you're kind of like, oh, but very briefly, and then it's over, and then you're like, oh, well, never mind.
I didn't like it.
But I didn't like it, so that says a lot. If you really have nothing better to do, go look for something else to do, and then if you have nothing to do after that, maybe you can watch this movie. Oh my god. That was about as creepy as the film.
This movie didn't deserve to hit the box office at all. By all means, this should have been a low-budget movie that people didn't care to hear about or ever see.
Better yet, watch our review on Grave Encounters, or just go get Grave Encounters and watch that.
Yeah!
That's about all that we really need to say. Wasn't that great? I mean, wasn't terrible, but just overall, just kind of boring.
I would give it a 4, and that's being very, very lenient.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt, but you're not gonna walk out of it feeling satisfied. If you're just watching it for a scare, you're gonna be disappointed because you're gonna be bored. If you're watching it because you think it's gonna be great, you're gonna be let down. I'm gonna probably give it a 4, 4.5, just to one up Justin. I probably don't hate it as much as Justin. I paid for this movie, for 4 people to see this movie.
Don't make the same mistakes.
And this movie was such a letdown that afterwards I implied that we all should have went and bought a copy of Shark Night and watched that. So,
Or Piranha.
just to give you an idea of where we're at right now.
Honestly, just for the personal audience out there, my entire thumbnail got torn off the other day, and I'd kind of rather do that again than watch that movie again.
If you're gonna watch this movie, or if you have to watch it, hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your husband, because they're raping everybody up there. Just keep your finger on the fast forward button. Oh god. Avengers, Spider-Man, Dark Knight Rises, you couldn't come any sooner.
Rent it in about 10 years.
Why would you do that? Why? There will be 10 more years worth of good films to watch.
Because by then it will be cheap as shit and no one else will want to watch it, and maybe it'll scare a little kid or something.
Well, little kids will be sleeping by the time they get to any of the scares. Don't you think? We shall talk about this movie no longer. I'm disappointed. Are you disappointed? He's disappointed. That's all we need to say. Do numbers matter? No. Just don't watch it. Just don't watch it. Watch the end of it, maybe. But just don't pay to see it. This has been Looking Glass Reviews.
I hate this movie.